do the sex.
Today's Masturbation Monday topic is the one sex move that drives women crazy that most men never do. If you've ever wondered why some men drive women crazy in bed and make them obsessed while other men get the polite, "That was nice," well, this episode is for you because there is one move that triggers deeper, more intense orgasms than almost anything else. Yet most men don't do it. Why? Because they are skipping over the one thing that sets apart good sex, okay sex from I absolutely need sex. But here's the thing, I'm not just talking about slowing down. There is a specific process that makes a woman's body crave you like crazy. And I'm going to be breaking it down into 3 steps. On top of that, I'm going to be sharing a science-backed orgasm hack that I learned from my interview with leading orgasm and women's pleasure researcher, Dr. Laurie Mintz. But before we dive in, I want to remind you that I'm on OnlyFans, where I am sharing my sex and intimacy how-tos and demonstrations, along with audio-guided self-pleasure meditations and so much more. You can find me there with my handle at TalkSex with Annette. I'm also over on Substack sharing the same and so much more. And my handle there is at TalkSex with Annette. And of course, if you are looking for a guide, a wing woman, or a sex and intimacy coach, I have my books open now, and you can find out more about that at talksexwithannette.com. You can also scroll down, and I will be posting all the links to where you can find me below. Now, let's dive in. So what is this big move that drives women crazy? It is the deep tease effect. Most men make the mistake of rushing right into high intensity stimulation, thinking more pressure and more speed equals more pleasure. According to the Kinsey Institute, that actually overwhelms the nerve endings. Instead, the key is building unbearable anticipation and activating her brain before her body. Because for women, sexual pleasure starts in the mind. So here's how to do it. Let's dive into my 3-step process. And it's going to include exercises you can start doing tonight and things to avoid. Step 1 is the invisible touch technique. Before you touch her, make her feel your presence, activating her nerve endings and anticipation before touch ever even takes place. The 2 mistakes that most men make are 1, grabbing, squeezing, and rubbing right away. This is routine, it's expected, and it can actually be really jarring to her body and her nerve endings. The second one is going straight for her boobs, her butt, or between her legs. This completely skips building anticipation. So what to do instead? Before you even touch her, make her feel your presence. Hover your hand over her skin and let her feel your warmth before ever making contact. Breathe next to her ear, down her neck, over her lips. Make her ache for your touch before you ever give it. Try this exercise tonight. Don't touch her for 30 seconds, but hover your hand over her inner thighs, her belly, her breasts, and watch how her body naturally moves towards you, asking for your touch. The science behind it? According to the Journal of Neuroscience, this plays into anticipatory arousal, which increases dopamine and makes her hypersensitive to touch. Step 2 is the 3-second rule. Tease and delay. Instead of rushing, touch her slowly. Let her feel every nerve ending react as you move across her skin. Remember, the longer the buildup, the more intense the release. The most common mistake that men make is jumping to direct stimulation, thinking more pressure equals better. So what should you do instead? Slow your movement down by 300%. When you finally touch her, move so slow that she can barely stand it. Spend at least 3 seconds on one spot, one area of stimulation before moving to the next. Try this exercise tonight. Instead of going straight for the clit, run your fingers lightly along her inner thighs for at least 15 seconds before moving on. Use your fingertips to trace circles around her hip bones before moving lower. And when you do finally touch her clit or her vulva, use the least amount of pressure possible. And of course, there's science behind this move. According to the National Library of Medicine, delaying pleasure triggers oxytocin release, which makes arousal feel more intense when it finally does happen. Step number 3 is the start and stop, the edge effect. When she's just about to peak, you're going to stop just for a second and make her crave the next touch. This creates an overwhelming, intense, full body climax when she finally does release. The 2 mistakes that men make are, first of all, keeping the same rhythm once she's aroused, and also thinking that faster equals better. What to do instead? Right as she starts to react, pause just for 2 or 3 seconds. Make her feel your absence. Then when you start again, start slowly. This is going to build arousal. Do this cycle for 3 or 4 times and then give her full contact and send her over the edge. You'll notice that this is the same pattern that you are going to see on some of the sex toys that have the patterns, the tapping patterns, and the pause patterns. They are there for a reason, and they do their job when a woman is fully in her body and sensing everything. This is what those patterns are designed to do. And of course, there's science behind it. According to the Kinsey Institute, this mimics a technique called edging, which is known to build orgasms that last longer and are stronger. So here's a wild fact that I learned from my interview with Dr. Laurie Mintz. Women have their most intense orgasms when they are mentally overloaded with sensation. So what does this mean? Unlike men, who typically experience pleasure in a more localized way, women's orgasms are deeply tied to their brain's ability to process multiple layers and types of stimulation at once. When a woman is receiving varied, unexpected, and overwhelming sensations, physical, emotional, and psychological, all at the same time, her orgasms become exponentially more intense. Think of it like this. A single repetitive touch, like rubbing, at the same pace over a long period of time equals her brain getting used to it and the orgasm being meh. On the other hand, a buildup of multiple sensations, think temperature play, dirty talk, pressure changes, equal her brain being overloaded and overwhelmed with sensation and explosive, incredible orgasms. Bonus tip. Pair teasing with an unexpected sensory element like an ice cube flavored lube or even fruit juice. One guy put strawberry juice on my lips and went down on me, and it threw my body into overdrive, and I had an amazing orgasm. I'm telling you all about it over on my OF page. Now that you know the move that drives women crazy, go home and try it tonight or as soon as possible with your partner, then come back and tell me how it works for you. You can do that by dropping a note in the comments below or emailing me at Annette at talksexwithannette.com. And if you want more game-changing tips that will improve your sex life, make sure to like and subscribe, because next week I'm going to be dropping an episode that is a science-backed way to make her wet with words. That's right, without even touching her. This is a science-backed method that helps you use your words to get her so turned on, she's going to be dragging you to the bedroom. And of course, if you are looking for a sex and intimacy coach, a wing woman, someone to help you in your own pleasure journey, my books are open. You can find out more about that at talksexwithannette.com. You can reach out to me, email me at Annette at talksexwithannette.com. I would love to work with you. So until next time, folks, I'll see you in the locker room. Cheers.